underway in a minute. We'll let the notifications go out. 10 million in the house so far. Welcome, 1, 2, 3, Tarl, Moelma, Larice, Anime Reyes. Charmaine is here. Mike married to a beautiful woman. Marian, Salonga. I know my desk is a little messy, but I'm here. I'm live and alive. I'm in here on a beautiful, bright, sunny day, live from the Hook Cebu, a mere 10-minute walk to IT Park. Strange weather in Lahug, Cebu. Should be raining. Tim Desiak is in the house. Should be raining, but it's not. Go figure. Hot as hell. Thermal shutdown in progress. But here we are, live. Letty Me is here. We're live from the Cebu studios, high above the MIT residences, located in the heart of Lahug. 7th floor to be exact, room 702. Just in case you're looking for me. Don't show up unannounced. You at least have to send me a PM. Yeah, people have said, damn, why do you tell people exactly where you're at? Why do you share your phone number with everybody? Why do you share your bank account with everybody? Nicole is here. Oh, I guess I'm just a risk taker. That's all. Yeah, I'm just a risk taker. What are we talking about today? Oh, yeah. I want to talk about two things. They don't really, maybe they go together okay, maybe not. But the first thing is going to be coffee, and the second thing is going to be airline tickets, which sound kind of boring, especially if you're not planning anytime soon. If you're not planning travel anytime soon. But I just wanted to share that whole adventure with you about, as many of you know, Mammy and I, we're going to be taking off pretty soon. We're going to be heading into LAX on the Big Bird. And I want to tell you my Philippine airline experience, what happened when we went down to the official Philippine airline ticket office. Because we had points, I thought I would be able to take advantage of the points, but it was not meant to be. It was not meant to be, and I'm going to give you all those details about what is going on. As many of you know, or may not know, Philippine Airline ordered a whole bunch of new planes. They got to pay for them somehow. You got to pay for the planes. They're brand spanking new. They're going to be comfy, not those ratty old planes they've been flying lately. Brand spanking new, where you get the new plane smell as soon as you enter. As soon as you enter into the plane, you get the new plane smell. And so anyway, I want to tell you that story. Anime Reyes, how are you today? Yeah. Nicole, thanks so much for being here. All right, so let's get started. First, I get these email messages, and I can't remember exactly. I want to go ahead and switch over to my email to read it to you, but I don't think I'm going to do that. It prompted me to do some research on. I had said in a live stream a long time ago that the homeless situation in America will work its way through okay. And somebody panicked and said, well, Dad, what are you talking about? You have to house all the homeless. You have to do this. You have to do that. Yes, Yes, it is a political football. It's a big political football, and a gazillion dollars are being thrown at it. How do we fix this? How do we house everybody overnight? How do we do this? How do we do that? Oh, that's good anime. I'm glad you're doing well. LV is here. LV, 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 LV. Ah, I love doing that chant. It puts a great big smile on my face. So back to the homeless station. You don't see homeless so much in the Philippines. You see people in the big city taking a nap on the sidewalk, but that's an everyday occurrence. I mean, you see people whipping it out and peeing in the corner of a building. Nobody cares if there's a female or children walking by. It's just the way that it is, you know. If you gotta go, you gotta go. You just whip it out, and you. This is not new. This is not a thing that a perversion or something that they try to keep children away from being exposed from that sort of thing. You know, it's sort of like a part of daily life, and nobody pays much of attention, you know, to it. So I was talking to the matron, the gal that cleans the restrooms, and I probably already mentioned this to you. I just wanted to remind you what she said. You know, so she was telling me. So she cleans the restrooms in the mall. I was talking to her the other day when we were over at Galleria, Robinson's Galleria. So we were over there meeting with Naomi and her baby, and then all of a sudden, I asked her. I just decide, you know, it's a good time to ask the question, right? I said, "How about? Can you tell me your stories about what you've seen as being a cleaner of both the men and the women's restroom?" Oh, she said it's a disgusting. She said it's a disgusting thing to have to talk about. I said, "Have you had to clean up many accidents?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Can I, if you don't mind, I apologize in advance, but I've been wanting to know this question. What is the most interesting thing about having to clean the male restrooms? You know, can you share any of that information with you?" She says, "Sure." She goes, "It's amazing how many uh, people want to come in here and they just want to whip out their equipment right in front of God and everybody." Uh, she goes, "I have seen more than I care to see in the rest of my lifetime." But I have to do it because this is my job. This is what I do. I clean restrooms for a living. This is how I support my family. But she was telling me they'll just come in there, and before they even get to the urinal, they just like slap that bad boy right out for all of everybody to see, even though I'm standing right there. I go, "What else?" I go, "What else?" I mean, I kind of expected that she would give me that answer, but what else have you seen? Well, uh, I noticed that when a foreigner comes in to use the urinal, right? She said, I know, bathroom talk wasn't exactly what you were expecting this morning. But when a foreigner comes in to use the urinal, if they see a foreigner there and a Filipino comes in behind, that Filipino will go right up to the urinal right next to the foreigner. "Hey, foreigner, be aware that this may happen to you when you're in the Philippines, you know," and that is that. And then she said they'll peek over the top of the side to see what you got. I go, "What?" Yeah, like it's some kind of mysterious thing, you know. They will actually peek their head over the top of the. And I was thinking, you know, I've had that happen to me once or twice where they wanted to take a look to see what I got. That's kind of strange, you know, like um, they're comparing weaponry, you know. My gun's bigger than yours, or yours is bigger than mine, something like that. Abby, good morning, Abby. How are you? Uh, Charles saying, "Long ago I worked at a Holiday Inn with a bar called Charlie's. The women's restroom was so much more disgusting than the men's." Yeah. And so that, of course, that's the other thing, but she didn't want to go there. She just wanted to talk about how typically disgusting men are and what their habits are. Tobias is in the house. "Dan, do you need me to bring NyQuil, pain reliever, almond joys, mounds, ibuprofen, and caramel and coffee flavored almonds?" Yes, all all of the above. Yeah, bring all of the above. Yeah, Tarl, they actually want to take a peek to see what you got, you know? And so I'm like, hey, we don't roll that way in the States. All right. Back to the homeless thing. I had to get that out. No, I didn't have to whip it out. I had to get that out. I had to tell you that is an interesting part of some of the experiences that was shared both by the matron, um, who has to clean the restrooms. I don't know what you call them here. Some people call them janitor and maintenance person, but and also just goes to show you that no, it doesn't go to show you. Forget it. Let's drop that whole subject. I was just pretty uh, amazed that goes on. But then I realized that, oh yeah, I've had that happen to me where somebody peeks their head over the top of the divider so they could take a peek at what's going on down there. So I always try to use, the urinal that sits the lowest to the ground, and then I always get the strange stares from Filipinos who are using urinals that are higher up. Anyway, it's well, they're looking at something. They want to see something. Charles. Mike Married says almost as important. The Supreme Court needs to be transported. The homeless around the world has grown since COVID because, in my opinion, the government stopped caring, not just in the U.S., everywhere. Yeah, but I don't know if they have a wagon that goes along the streets every day and picks up the homeless people from the sidewalks, but I just don't see it here in Cebu, and I hardly notice it in Manila. I know they're homeless people, right? But uh, I don't know if it's as big of a problem. I kind of doubt that is. We don't have people putting tents up on the sidewalk. I just don't think that they would allow that in Manila. What do you guys think? Dana went chomp today and got everything. Oh, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Hey, we're gonna have to chat. I'm really curious as to where you're moving into for that $500. $500 is a lot of money. You know that, Tobias. That's a lot of money here in the Philippines. We paid our rent the other day. I think our rent was, hun, what was our rent? Our rent was what? $250 American. They gave you a refund. They gave Minnie a refund from previous months because they overcharged for the power. That was nice of them. And then of course, we went out there and had a party on the money. But anyway, that's another story, or a story for another time. Yeah, bring out your dead. Exactly. And so here's the thing. So I had mentioned this. I had talked earlier about the homeless people. The homeless problem is going to take care of itself because everybody will die off. We're going to lose a half a generation of homeless people that are going to be they're all going to be dead soon. And the demographers, the people that keep track of these statistics, they know this. They know this. They share this information with cities, with municipalities, with the government. And so they create these organizations to suck up this money, who basically they suck it up in administrative costs. They do absolutely nothing with it. They go out there and they hand the homeless people a peanut butter sandwich once in a while, and then they give them a pamphlet saying, here's how you find governmental services, right? That's how it works in the States. And they suck the money up, paying themselves $200,000 a year. Christ, sometimes more than the president of the United States gets for running these nonprofit organizations that do absolutely nothing. Yeah, they go out there and they basically they gather stats. But let me share with you the facts, okay? Because someone said I want you to support that. What you said, that people will die off in, pretty soon everybody will die off, and the homeless problem will go away on its own. And so you don't really have to throw any money at it unless you're serious about trying to help somebody. Tobias is saying 38th Park Avenue is the name of the building. Ah, okay. And Mike Married says the homeless around the Philippines are in spots along waterways. In the U.S. and Canada, they're in parks and underneath bridges. Okay, I have seen some homeless by the rivers and the waterways. That's true. And so maybe it's an out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. 123 Charles saying that everybody that doesn't know, it's a movie, just a joke, not really laughing at people dying. Yeah. We know. Wasn't that Monty Python or something like that? All right, so now I have stats. You can look it up, Google it. Google it to get the most accurate information in the world available. 10 million people in the house putting up, remaining and putting up with me. Number one, we're talking the United States now. We're not talking the rest of the world. We're talking probably Canada also. The average life expectancy, it's probably the average life expectancy. I mean, Mike, where do the people go in the winter in Canada? That's what I'd like to know. Um, that would be important information to have. Do they fly south for the winter? I mean, do they go to warmer climate? Do they move to the west coast of Canada during the winter time? Yeah, for everybody that doesn't know, it's a movie, just a joke. Good morning, Sir Dan. Jay Lynn is here. Jay Lynn Valerius is here. Okay, so let me share these facts because somebody asked me about it. And by the way, I wasn't aware of these factoids until I looked it up. I talk a lot just through the side of my, you know what I mean? Hey, but listen, I'm not, I have information, you know what I mean? The information is gathered in school. I consider myself an educated individual. I do have one of them there, master degrees, for all that is worth. It is in this field. It is in a social service field. So health and human services kind of field. So the whole thing is that I do have a tiny bit of credibility, although it may not be much. So, but the degree is old. It's not current, but it's a little bit more current than most of the dumbasses that are running this country. That's for sure. All right. So anyway, I'm talking about the dumbasses running the USA, not the Philippines is doing fine. And we're going to talk about why the Philippines is doing fine in a moment and why it'll continue to do okay. Des is here. Larry Lee is in the house. Are you working, Larry? Or are you off? Good morning. Good morning. We're in the Philippines. It is a little after 8. And good afternoon, good evening to everyone else, wherever you may be located around the globe. All right. So average life expectancy of a homeless person, and it's all genders, female and male, I believe, is between 42 and 52 years of age. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that the average life expectancy probably for a male who's housed in the USA is 78 years old, could be as high as 82? And then we have this statistic that is available on Google who's saying that the average life expectancy of a homeless person is between 42 and 52 years of age. And then you have to ask yourself, what is the average age of a homeless person? All right? Because that is at the very foundation of what I'm saying here. And so, but we don't get the average age. Pacquiao Merns is in the house. Pax, how are you? Charmaine is here. ABCM, hello, hello, hello. All right, so then we got at the very foundation of my argument, but we're going to have to deal with median age, which is different than the average age. Median age of a homeless person rose from 37 to 46 at a rate of 0.66 per calendar year. I mean, it has risen fast. That means that people are becoming poor fast, poor and homeless. But the average age or the median age shocked me at age 46 because it's right in the middle numbers of where the average life expectancy for a homeless person is, which is 42 to 52 years of age. Oh my God, that's horrible. The total time folks became homeless or remain homeless, it went from 12 months to 39.5 months. Holy crap. Basically, it's becoming a way of life for people in the States to be homeless. There's no shame in being homeless. People are accepting that there's no shame in being homeless. And so they're becoming homeless because it makes sense. Why does it make sense? I mean, if you have some kind of shelter, I mean, I'm sure it all starts good and well-intentioned. I know what we'll do, honey. We'll go buy a used RV for a few $100s, and we'll go park it in the next to the park, and then the park will become our front lawn, and then we'll cook on the barbecue. That's what people in the Philippines are used to cooking on, or we'll use the gasol, right? We'll use a gasol barbecue, and so they're well intentioned, and then we won't have to pay rent. We get park for free. And so they go there. It all starts out just fine. And then one night, Mr. Man forgets to turn off the barbecue grill, and the everything catches on fire. And now they have no place to live, no shelter. The RV catches on fire. All their stuff burns to the ground. Welcome to our homeless world, right? And then by then, all the resources have been expended getting everything all set up. That's usually how it happens. All right, so that's the downer thing for today. Let's get that downer stuff out of the way. And so that is my supporting argument for showing that the whole homeless problem goes away almost as quickly as it appeared. And that is because, yes, but Mike, you want to point out, they always want to point this out, by the way, that the number of teens being homeless has been growing because of mental health issues and drug addiction. Yeah, but it's not the majority of teens are housed fairly easily, as well as the families. In other words, the focus, and that's why these age ranges are 42 to 52 for average life expectancy, not a teenager, and age 46 for the average age of a homeless person. And so now, Mike, in the States what they've been selling. Cha Ram is here. Cha Ram's in the house. Tobias is hanging in there. I haven't scared too many people away. But here's the whole thing, right? Yeah, of course, mental health issues is for real, but all I'm saying is, hey, Joe's here. Are you here? Hey, Joe, what do you know? How's everything in Vallejo? Oh, there he is. Okay. So here's the thing. They die off. And the demographers know that. I did not make it up. I'm not responsible. I'm not responsible for, I'm just delivering the facts. All I'm doing is delivering the facts. That's all. The facts, the way that they're presented by the left, quite frankly, because they want money. And so the fact that teens and families are homeless, yes, of course, but they're the low hanging fruit. It's easier to house teens, and it's easier to house families. They're the focus of most homeless nonprofit organizations. That's what they're getting paid the money for, to help. And so what they do, yes, speaking of homeless, exactly. So some people are housed, and they're still considered to be homeless, and that's why you have the median age being 47 years of age. Did you notice in that age, right? How could the Vietnam vets be on the street if the median age is 47? And so whenever they're vying for money, Tobias, whenever they're trying to get money, then they always say, well, we got to help all these Vietnamese. We have to help everybody, but I mean, we have to help all the Vietnam vets become housed, right? And then you kind of look at aren't they 70 years old? Right now, median age being 46, the number higher, the number lower, 46. So I guess, yeah, there are going to be a few vets out there. A lot of them reject the help because, they have strings attached to the help. And I don't like that. I don't like that aspect of going to people. I'm a housing first kind of guy. House them if they want, but don't force them into housing. Don't force them into housing. Oh, yeah. Let's see. I heard you sell your house in America at that den, and then when will you stay? Oh, where will you stay? Yeah. So yeah, we sold our house in America. Of course, we're not going to be there very long. So since you brought it up, let's go ahead and transition into that housing thing, Des. So, and then that'll transition us into tickets. So we're talking tickets, plane tickets before housing. Oh, you're late. Oh, you're never late. You're always on time, Larry. You're not late today. Okay, so now let's talk about that. All right, so yes, we sold the house, and so we're not staying with relatives, because I believe in what overs. I don't like to. I'm not burdening anybody with saying, "Hey, you got a spare room for us to stay in when we come to Sacramento." No, no, and there's a couple of different reasons. We're not staying in one place for very long. We're flying into LAX. That's Los Angeles International Airport. And then we will be going over. We'll be going over to stay in a hotel, or maybe even what is it? A rent-a-room. What do they call it? Airbnb or some such thing. And we'll hook that up for maybe a week in the Los Angeles area so we can visit my mom and other relatives in that area. And then we'll be heading north and doing the same thing. And so so we'll be staying in a hotel most likely for the 2 weeks that we're in California. I don't suspect we'll be going outside of the state of California while we're there, but we'll be rolling north and south in the state, which is many, many miles. We'll be putting on many, many miles, Des. So yeah, Airbnb, something like that, something close to where mom's house is. So, and then we'll be going in there and visiting my mom, who's, getting a little up in years. How old is mom now? How old is mom? Minnie, 80. Is she 80? 78. We got to be careful here. She might be watching. She's between 86 and 88. So hotels are expensive in LA. Yeah, we're probably going to be paying some money because I like, when I'm traveling, here's the thing. We could go low budget, but we'll probably if we were staying in a hotel, it's got to be, it's amazing the difference between a $70 per night hotel room in the States and $125. The amenities just goes up like exponentially. So I like when we're traveling, I like being at the higher end of things. We're going to go over the budget, though. We'll go over the budget, and we'll tell you what we have planned. Folks, I can't think of the name of it, but they were warning. There was one of the YouTube videos, one of the popular vloggers that, that was reminding people. They were reminding people on their vlog that you have to set aside 5 to 10K American money, which is a lot of dough, right? That's 250,000 pesos to $500,000 pesos you have to set aside for return trips back to the USA. Now, by the time we venture out, it will be a year and a half since we've gone back to visit in the States. Growing number of vet homeless are from Afghanistan or Iraq vets because of mental health issues. The services from Veterans Affairs is slow. Yes, okay, so we're not talking. No. I realize that, but their go-to is Vietnam vets, Mike. That I wanted to clarify that. Yeah, we know that there are plenty of homeless vets from Afghanistan and Iraq. But whenever they're looking for money, they always say Vietnam veterans. You see, that's the interesting smoke and mirrors thing about the diatribe when they're trying to raise cash. And of course, everybody wants to help the Vietnam vets. That whole thing was so one-sided. JJ still has a cough. Ooh, Edward D. Beck is in the house. Okay, so back to where we're staying, or back towards it's going to be either Airbnb. But the last time I looked at Airbnb in the neighborhood that we wanted to be, it was a bit complicated, because I don't want to rent a car when I'm there. Rental cars are very, very expensive now. They're running somewhere around $500 a week or more. That's $500 a week that I'd rather spend on luxury dwelling and booze. And so I'm thinking that I'm thinking for at least the week that we're in LA, we'll probably be using public transportation. Oh no. Oh no, say it ain't so. We'll probably be using public transportation, and we'll be using Uber or Lyft, which is like Grab here in the Philippines. Uber used to be here in the Philippines, and then they sold their operation to Grab. Now Grab is a huge production here in the Philippines. And so it'll be a little bit pricey, but I doubt that it will be uh, as much as $500 a week to rent a car. And then when we go north, let's see. Tobias is saying something important here. Let's see. Whatever Tobias says is always important, by the way. I'm a vet. So was my dad. The government didn't do crap for me. When my 93-year-old dad passed away, I went to bury him in the vet cemetery. I was denied because he didn't pass a vet hospital. He didn't pass in a vet's hospital. That's all I can say. Yeah, that's pretty disgusting that you have to pass away in a veteran hospital before they can bury you in the vet cemetery. Michelle is here. Michelle, 14 million people in the live today in the chat. All right, all right. Okay, so what's next? What's next? What's next? All right, so that the budget is 5,000. That's airfare, 5,000 US American. That's what I've set aside for this trip. It could be a little bit more, it could be a little bit less. So in Southern California, we'll be doing that. In Northern California, it's a little bit challenging because things are even spaced out a little bit further. So in that case, I may be forced to rent a car, but we'll have to wait and see. But I know the Sacramento area's light rail system pretty good. I know the general area that Minnie and I have to be stationed in order to get all the business done that we have to get done there. So I think that Uber or Lyft or Grab will work just fine for Sacramento also, if we are near one of the light rail stops, so we can get to downtown with no problem whatsoever. Because we have to do some banking downtown. We have to pick up some credit cards that have been, some have expired, and we'll be taking care of that there. Yes, I probably could impose on relatives I haven't seen in 15 years. They probably wouldn't say no. Stay in our luxurious mansion. We have a room for you to stay in our luxurious mansion, but it you know I probably won't do that. It's not because I don't care for the relatives. It's just that I don't want to impose on anybody, and I'm a pretty Minnie and I were pretty independent travelers as it is. Uh, NG popcorn for small business. Oh, what am I missing there, Mertz? What am I missing? Can crash at my place, Dan. Borrow my car. You break it, you bought it. Yeah, see, that's the other problem. The other problem is you stink up the place if you stay for more than a few days. That's what I've been trying to get at. That's what I meant to say earlier. The YouTuber was saying, yeah, it's not a good idea necessarily to do that. I think it was Overstay Road. I think it was Marco who was talking about that, because he's on his way. If he's not already there in the States, he's there. Who knows? Maybe I'll run into the Filipina P by then. Maybe she'll be on the West Coast. That's pretty funny, huh? Maybe by the time we get there, she'll be in the West Coast. Maybe she'll be back by then. Tobias in Canada. If I pass, I can be buried in a veteran cemetery, but I want to die in the Philippines and be buried in a private cemetery. Yeah, that's kind of my plan, not to be buried anywhere, but to be burned up and sit on somebody's fireplace in the Philippines. That would be nice. Yeah. It's too complicated, too difficult to be shipping bodies all over the place. I don't see the point in that. You're dead, You're already gone to the great beyond. Princess Sarah's here. Hi, Dan and Minnie's Journey. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. 13 mean in the house. LJ is here. So, all right, what are we on? Okay, so the tickets. Let's get on to the tickets, right? And then we'll talk about the coffee. We're making fine progress here. Dan's getting everything that is accumulated in the last few days out of his mind onto the sales floor. Um, uh, I'm getting the stuff. I'm getting the brain unclogged. Let's see. Mike, I hear you, dude, but I want my ashes spread across the ocean. Very romantic. Very romantic. Maybe you can get your ashes put on one of those scatterers that are going to be flying over the globe, scattering aluminum and iron oxide. They could just mix your ashes in on that. And when they're flying over the Pacific Ocean, they could just dump you out, mixed in with those with the metal. Dump my ashes, flush me in the toilet, and I'll get to the ocean a lot sooner. That's what I've been telling Mammy. Just flush me, flush me into the sewer system. All will be fine. Everything will be worked out just fine. All right, so let's talk about the ticket. Okay, so we end up. There's a Philippine ticket office just up the street from us. One jeepney ride in the area is called Gore Ordo. Gore Ordo. Gore Ordo. Gore Gore Ordo. Gore Ordo. Yeah. Yeah, say that 3 times real fast. And oh, that would be, yeah, you want your ashes, Mike, to be part of the Coral Reef Seeding Project. Okay. Mix them in there. That sounds very romantic. So anyway, let's see. We went to the Philippine ticket office up the street in the barangay that I just said. I'm not saying it 3 times. Gore Ordo, Gore Ordo, Gore Ordo. Went in there, and so we're looking at an October departure, mid-October. Our lease is up here in October, and we're not sure if we're going to renew. Jalen is here in the background. Thanks for being here and keeping me on at least on one gadget. Oh, are we having a drawing today? Yeah. Got the magic money tabs right here in front of me. That is a good idea, Tobias, that you can make a diamond out of ashes and wear it as an earring for us. Cool dudes. No cremation in Byway, new business model, maybe. No, there is. There's cremation. There's De La Cruz that will send your body. There's De La Cruz Mortuary that will send your body off to Ormoc, where they have a crematorium. But someone said there's a crematorium right there in Bye City. You just don't know about it, but it's there. And so they said, go to De La Cruz, which we'll be doing. We're going to do a video on this. And so we'll be going to De La Cruz. That's the one that was recommended to me. And then they say late at night, they fire up the crematorium if they have a body to burn, and they do it right there in Bye City. We're going to find out. Others send it to Ormoc, to a crematorium in Ormoc. I'm going to be discovering all this and sharing it in a video, in an uplifting video about death. Death in the Philippines if you're an expat. That should get a lot of views. That should get at least 10 views. So anyway, we go over to Philippine Airline. We go in there, and we are frequent flyers, for crying out loud. I got points, but turns out that when we go in there, we discover that we went 2 places. We went to Wild Travel. We got a better price at Wild Travel for the same flight from Manila to LAX, nonstop. Now, nonstop is probably the thing that they're selling here. What they wanted was US $1,250 for the dates that we had chosen, and we would not be able to use our frequent flyer miles on that international flight because we did not have enough. We only have something like 13,500. which is fine for a domestic one way, but it's no good for an international flight unless you're going to something like maybe you want to go to, you could apply it if you're going to Kuala Lumpur or to Bangkok, Thailand. We'll find out at a later date and I'll share it with you. Timothy, don't push Dan. Yeah, she's pushing me on a daily basis. Trust me, Mike. So let's see, typical foreigner Filipino marriage. So let's see. Chrissy Mama's here. Michelle Ann is here. Larice is here. Larice Juice. How are you doing, Larice? All right, so now Des is in the background because she has to give JJ his medication. All right, so now let's talk about this. So $1,200 was at the WOW travel fee, including the service fee, $1,200 round trip each. So that's $2,500. That's half of our budget. Half of the $5,000 budget would have gone to airfare. I was getting ready to pay it. We go over to Philippine Airlines. They want $1,250 for the same flight, same dates, $1,250. Can't use any points. Can't use travel miles. Hold the phone. I've got to do some more research. So Tobias might be interested to learn this, right? That we go to booking.com. We go to booking.com because I'm at Genius Level 3. And I don't know if that's worth a plug nickel, right? But we go Genius Level 3 to booking.com. Let's see. Tim is saying always room to be buried next to Jimmy Hoffa. Yeah, well, I think I think I ate Jimmy Hoffa in one of my hot dogs. I think they ground him up and they put him in the hot dogs. They probably put him in the kosher hot dogs. That would be funny. Listen, Jimmy Hoffa has been digested. They're never going to find his body. You know, someone said that he's a concrete pillar in one of the stadiums. Oh, anyway, all right. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the airfare. I know, Dan. Listen, I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. I'm not paying $1,250 to Philippine Airline or anybody else unless I'm getting some service. I mean, it makes sense for economy. What do you call that? Premier economy or something like that. The next level. But that isn't what we're talking about. We're talking about an economy class seat. Dan, is there a living will in the Philippines? Is there a living will? Yeah. In fact, Ma'am Minnie, we've been learning about that. And so because since she does have a big chunk of real estate with a house on it in the Philippines, one of the things that we have to do when we return to bye this month is we have to go see the attorney so he could draw up the will. Otherwise, it follows Philippine law. But a will can actually not circumvent Philippine law, but specify more clearly the distribution of assets. That sort of thing. So you're saying, is there a living will in the Philippines? Well, I'm not sure about that, but we'll be visiting the attorney. We probably should do a video on that. Tobias said, I used to use booking.com. I'm only Genius Level 1. Okay, well, I don't know. What's the difference between a genius at level 3 and a genius at level 1? The most important thing is that you're genius, right, Tobias? So Naomi's here. Hello, Sir Dan. She says, thank you so much for yesterday from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate your kind gestures to me and my daughter. Oh, she's talking about, so we met Naomi and her daughter over at Galleria Mall. I knew I was going there, and since Naomi is only like 5 minutes away, from the mall, I said, "Yay, it makes sense. Come on over and spend some time together." So it worked out really well. She has a very cute, intelligent daughter, and Naomi's cute and intelligent also. I just like to throw that out there. But I mean, it was a very, very pleasant meeting. It was a very pleasant get together, and we had a good time. And so I might post, if she gives me permission, Naomi, I might post some of the video from that meeting if you from our get together, if you don't mind. Tim is saying, I don't know if I could fly economy class. My back couldn't handle it. Well, here's the thing. So here's the rest of the story. I'm gonna share with you what the thought is here, Tim. So uh, no. If you have a bad back, I would not recommend that you go economy. But I'm not sure that premium economy is the way to go either. You might have to go business class. You might have to pony up the money to get there, right? The $3,500 or greater for the each way. So set aside 10 grand or maybe more, $12,000 to if you ever do a trip like that, a long one back to the States. Nomi saying, sure, sir, Dan, it's okay to post. We have a lot of fun. God bless you there in Mammoth. Thank you, and the same to you, Nomi. We really enjoy spending time with you and your daughter. We'll do it again for sure. Dan went shopping today and got you covered. You're good to go. All right, so now, that's great. I appreciate it. I really do, Tobias. Thank you so much. I'm very undeserving. I'm very undeserving of the goodwill. All right, the gestures and everything. I'm very undeserving. All right, but there you are. There's Mike, hey Joe, and you. Mike bringing the chocolate, which was a beautiful thing. I got so much mileage out of that chocolate, you can't believe it. Yeah, I just save your money for business class. That's the best way to fly anytime is business class. If you got the bones, if you got the dollars, if you got the ducats, fly business class. There's nothing like it. A long flight like that. Okay, but here's how we're going to do it. All right, so so here's what I do. We go into booking. I put in the same dates that I gave Wild Travel. I put in the same dates that I gave to Philippine Airline. Boom! What comes up? That Tobias airfare that Tobias shared with us, right? The airfare that comes up as being the cheapest airfare, and by the way, the one that makes the most sense was Starlux. Now, folks, Starlux. Tobias knows because I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I did not want to fly Starlux, but because who knows whether they'll even be in business by the time we make this trip. But so what I did was I went and I did some research on Starlux and discovered all the stuff that gave me confidence that not only will they be in business by the time we make this trip, but they probably will become a premier airline sometime in the next 4 to 5 years. You're going to have to contend with them. And the reason is because the founder is the guy who launched the idea of starting Starlux is the son of one of the directors or one of the founders of EVA Airlines. Baba! And he's a pilot, for crying out loud. He's a pilot and obviously an otherwise intelligent individual. And so we go with, well, yeah. Oh, Tobias, you had to bring up the whole Trump thing. And all I can say is that he gets arrested again, but hey, what's an arrest amongst friends? I always say, what's one charge? What's one charge? I mean, the whole thing is that it doesn't matter how many times they arrest him. He still is going to get the vote. And so we may end up having a constitutional crisis because of this. Mike is saying, I have a will here leaving for my Osawa, but I'm getting older. I don't want money spent, so I want a DNR, and I want her to have control of if I become incapacitated. I think that's the way to go. I think that's the way to go. I don't even know if they know what a DNR is here in the Philippines, but I'll have to check all that stuff out. Mike, you bring up some good points. So Tobias is saying, yes, finally, you see Starlux is awesome if you're flying out of LA or to LAX from the Philippines. Yes. And so I went with it. It was hard to pass up because let me give you the reasons why. Because the fare was $750 round trip from Cebu to Taipei, Taipei to LAX. You can't beat this deal anywhere, including the timeline. So even the layover in Taipei did not bother me because it's very comforting to be able to get off the plane and have 2 to 4 hours of downtime before leaving on the next plane to get over to LAX. I'm fine with it. And so you got to go with it. I had to go with it. And then the other thing is that once I found out who's the backers of it, I mean, and how they're capitalized, I looked at all those things, and they have brand new planes they're flying. That was the number one reason. The number one reason was once I got past the confident level that they'll be around in October and beyond, then I looked at the planes, right? And they're flying that beautiful Airbus, right? They're flying the Airbus. Aren't they flying, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, 750 round trip from Cebu. I don't even have to go through Manila. I don't have to go through Manila. I don't have to even think of Manila. We're flying out of Cebu. Cebu to Taipei, Taipei to LAX. Boom, it's done. Trip there, boom, 16 hours, 16 and a half hours, including the layover. How can you beat a deal like that? You get to get off the plane. You get to get on that big, beautiful Airbus, brand spanking new, 18-inch seats, economy class, bells and whistles, food. They feed you $750 USD, Mike. Unfreaking believable. Round trip. Man, Minnie and I, we're flying for $1,500. You can't beat that with a stick. Philippine airline, I mean, points or no points, it doesn't even matter. They don't even come into play. I could save those points for a domestic flight or a short international flight that Man Mini will be considering. We're gonna make one international trip, I guarantee it, before we leave for Los Angeles. We'll be making one international trip. And I don't know where it's at. I've been talking Kuala Lumpur, and it's looking tastier and tastier. And on that trip, we may very well fly Philippine Airlines if I'm able to use those miles. Otherwise, I would do AirAsia. Why would I spend all this money on airfare when a few $100s here, a few $100s there means more booze and fooling around? No, not booze necessarily. That gives you more money for fun in your pocket to have fun, right? Yeah, they're comfy. I didn't even have to go premium economy because they got all you need in that Airbus, brand spanking new, configured Airbus for Starlux. They went the next level. They didn't go basic crap on any of their cabins. They have 4 first class seats. They have the dividers in them that everybody is raving about. They have dividers in business class. They have like something like 26 seats in business class. They have premium economy with those big 20-inch seats with the footrest that elevate. And then in economy, in the economy cabin, they've got the 18-inch seats. Oh, Mike says I would have to sit sideways. Well, that's why you marry a Filipina and you have her as a traveling partner, Mike, because she only takes up 7 inches and then you get the rest. And that's the other reason why premium or economy works just fine. Because for a big guy, first of all, I already know that I fit comfortably in 17 inches, but 18 inches, I'm like living the life of Riley. I'm telling you. It's very, very comfortable. 14 million people in the house at 55 minutes into the live streams. Thank you so much for honoring me with your presence. Well, Mike, you might have to fly premium economy if you're going by yourself, but because I love those 20-inch seats. But not every airline is giving you this. That's the whole thing. They've stepped up their game. Star Lux, Star luxury flying. That's what they're all about, making it as comfortable as possible. So it's going to be great to do a video on this. I don't know. I haven't measured my ass lately. I don't really know how wide it is, but it's getting wider by the moment. All right. So now, let's see. What else was I going to talk about? So Here's the next step. Uh, here's the next step. The next step was, can you get the emergency exit row seats reserved? That's the next step. And I'm going to keep you informed of this. I discovered by doing my Google search that yes, you can reserve those, but they're going to charge you $160 more for those seats each way of travel. So $160 or $170 more, I can't remember. It's in that range. So do I need to pay? So the whole thing is, for that extra comfort, that extra comfort of being able to just enjoy your life without having to interrupt anybody whatsoever, to have to move because you have to pee, you have to get up to go and pee. I am an old man. Then Mike is saying most Filipinos have round butts. Yeah, thank God for us. It's great to be alive, right, Mike? Okay, and that is that. The next step would be, should I reserve two of those seats by the exit rows, midway down the plane, right where the economy section starts? You have right where the economy section starts. You have the exit rows, the emergency exit rows, and there's nothing better than flying on those emergency. And I mean, because we got this ticket for so cheap. And then once you add another $170 to that fee, oh my God, you're still way underneath. You're underneath that price. You're underneath that $1,250 that Philippine Airlines wanted. I mean, the competition in flying these days, especially when you're going in low season, would be October, November, particularly the second halves of those months. Christmas is out of the question. You got to get in and out of LAX before Christmas. Before December, the rates start to double and triple. You're screwed if you wait till December to get these flights. Even if you're coming from the U.S. to the Philippines, they know that most Filipinos will be making that trip during December. All right. So that's the flight part. That's the flight part of this live stream. I'm pretty much done with it. Let's move on. Minnie O is in the house. ABCM channel is hanging in there. By the way, I always forget to do this, but you know that within 24 hours from now, Larry Lee has his panel live stream, right? And so I don't know if I think Larry, I believe, said he was going an hour earlier. That would be 7 a.m. in the Philippines. That's when Larry goes live. Don't miss his channel because we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on the panel on Larry's live stream. I get the aisle seat. I bring my cane, so no extra cost. Yeah. Oh, I see. The aisle seat is fine. And so maybe that's what we'll do. You should get the same level of comfort out of the aisle seat. And then I could just, if I need more leg space, I could just, but you're a big dude, right, Mike? So I could just throw the legs out into the aisle row and I could trip anybody who's coming, passing by but listen, here's the thing. If you go online, you can pull up Starlux's map of that 750-900. I'm sorry. What is the plane? The Airbus 750-900, is that it? Or am I thinking of something else? Am I thinking of the Boeing? Anyway, I'll figure it out. But you could pull up the map. That map is going to give you the seating arrangement. It is also going to give you which seats to stay away from and which seats are the most comfortable in terms of leg room. Because there are a couple of rows, 47, I think. There are a couple of rows you have to pay attention to. And if you can get those seats, then you're going to be living the life of your life is going to be changed for the better. Richie is here. La Chica. I love that name. Is it Richie? But I know La Chica is right. La Chica. I love that name. It's fantastic. So I forgot to tell you that you have to buy it online. Forgot to tell you have to buy it online. Buy what online? You mean that you have to reserve online? You can't call them and say, "Oh no, no." If I go now that I have the ticket purchased and they gave me the the letter number reservation thing. Now if they send that to me, I should be able to just go online, right, and then put that in there, and then my flight reservation will come up, and then I could upgrade. So now I know they're going to charge you for the extra leg room seats. They're going to charge you something, but it may not be as high as that 160 or $170 that they want to charge you for the exit rows. But those are money making. I meant to tell you guys that we had a flight. I think flying out of Philippines. Now you're not supposed to leave those seats vacant. I don't know if you know airline rules, but those seats are to be occupied, right? So I don't know if I told you the story, but we were on Philippine Airline. We were on Manila to Thailand, and those emergency exit seats were left vacant on both sides of the row, on both rows, both sides on the Airbus. I think it was 320. That is a violation of FAA rules, I believe. I believe that those are supposed to be occupied. The fact that nobody was occupying them means that no one wanted to pay the extra money that they were holding them for. But once that occurs, they're supposed to go down the cabin and move people into those emergency row seats so that there's somebody there to help with the evacuation should there be an emergency on the plane. And so that was very interesting to me on Philippine Airlines that they didn't know that. They hear you have head steward, you have the people running the plane that are supposed to know what the rules are, and they kept coming by and they were vacant. And I was waiting to see if they're going to move anybody into those rows, but no. 3.5 hour flight from Manila to Bangkok, nobody occupied those seats. 17 million people in the house. They must be coming in because they think that I'll be doing a drawing today. I think at the beginning I said I have it ready to go, right? I still have work to do on this. You know, I'm sure you guys noticed. I do shake them up, but still, I don't know. I still have a sixth sense that people are thinking that this is not as fair as it can be. We're working on it. Read the promo code, 50% off with the code TWN now when you buy it online for first time flyers. TWN now. I have to write that down, otherwise I will forget. TWN now. Promo code. Okay. All I know is when I went in to Starlux's online site, the deal could not be found there. You know that, but Booking.com and the others, they have it. They have this flight deal. But when I went into Starlux, the main website, I couldn't find anything. There was nothing. So maybe I needed a promo code in order to get some kind of a deal. But I'll be working on that and I'll report back. All right, next thing to do is talk about the coffee, folks. I don't know if you know this or not, but wait, before we jump into that, let's talk about the Philippine economy, since I like to throw in a tidbit of news about that. Folks, as long as you have overseas workers, the Philippine economy will remain stable. Yes, we're going to have inflation. Yes, we're going to have deflation. Yes, we're going to have all these things, right? Right now, inflation is coming down a little bit. It's coming down a little bit. And so this is a good thing because it'll give some of us some relief. But as you know, as most of you know, the remittance from overseas workers is so huge. It represents almost a third, if not a third, of the Philippine gross domestic product. And that's hard cash. So when people come in and they're remitting money, they're remitting hard cash, hard currency from the country that they're earning it in. When it comes here and it's converted into pesos, that is in hard currency. It's not make believe. It's in cash. Cash is king. When cash is king, that means that that 1/3 of the Philippine economy is being supported by those overseas workers. James from Sacramento, California is in the house. How's it going, bro? Hope all is well with you. Hope all is well with you and your brother and the family, and everything is going well for you. So Larry, what time is it in the Philippines when you go live? Don't make me do the math, bro. Larry Lee, tell everybody what time you're going live tomorrow with your panel. All right. What time is it where you are, and what day is it where you are when you go live, and what day and time is it when you go live in the Philippines? That's what we need to know. Anime is still hanging. Menge's here. I guess people are thinking we're having a drawing today. We are probably. Get your friends here. It's going to happen within the next 20 minutes. I guarantee you it's going to happen within the next 20. Well, I can't guarantee it, but I mean, it probably will. It most likely will happen within the next 20, 25 minutes. All right. So here's the thing. As long as you have people remitting cash, sending cash, wiring it over here for their families, then you have an economy that's going to be stronger than most Asian economies or even economies like the United States that uses the Fed, that just creates money out of thin air and through bank lending. This is hard currency cash that represents 1/3 of the Philippine gross domestic product that the United States does not have. It just comes in here from thin air. It's like they invented the money, but they didn't, because it's in hard currency. Larry says it will be 7 a.m. on Sunday, and it will be 7 p.m. Eastern time in the USA. 7 a.m. Sunday morning and 7 p.m. Eastern time in the USA. 7 p.m. on Saturday night, Larry? Is that how it works? We're in a time machine. We're in a time bubble, folks. Don't miss his live. They are fun. I'm telling you, they can be fun. All right. So now, back to what we're talking about. Remittance represents 1/3 of the gross domestic product of the Philippines. It's cash in hand. As long as you have that kind of cash flowing in to the Philippines, the Philippine economy will continue to experience and enjoy the growth rate that it has been enjoying. All right, enough of that, setting that aside. Now we're going to coffee. I hated to do this like this. I really did, but I have to get all this stuff out of my head. It's clogging it up. I'm constipated in the brain. All right. It can benefit you some kind of way if you're paying attention to the stuff that I'm saying. It'll give you ideas to ponder that will change your life. It will change your life if you pay attention to the information that Dan's given you some kind of way. Okay, Dan, if someone wins, remove the number for 30 days. Okay, I will. Wait, Mike, who do you want me to give the prize to? Did you say you want me to, if someone wins, remove? Oh, you're recommending that we go ahead and remove it so that it increases the chances for other people to win. You've been giving me good advice, but you've been giving me good advice so far. And so because you have been, I'm going to consider that. I can't make a decision right now on the fly, but I'm gonna think about that. Maybe 30 days might be too long of a period of time, but maybe one or two live streams periods going by would be reasonable, or maybe one or two. Beth Beltran is here. Beth Beltran is cracking me up in the lip pointy video. Whenever I see that lip pointy video, especially the short, I had to edit it out so everybody would fit. Oh, by the way, my apologies to Angelica Canalida, who just celebrated a birthday. because I wasn't able to edit her video to get it into the shortened version of my lip pointing tribute. But if you guys haven't already seen that one, go in and take a look. You know, I'm pretty amazed that my Jollibee video with Man Mini and the Super Meal did better than the lip pointing tribute. All you have to do is watch it for 10 extra times, each one of you that were in it, and then it would drive that up to in the range that I think it should be, 500 or 600, 800 views, something like that. Oh no, I'm not telling you to violate any laws. I'm just pointing out that you must have enjoyed seeing that lip pointing tribute as much as I enjoyed making it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, Mike, I'm going to consider that. Uh, let's talk about coffee for a moment, folks. A lot of you may not know this, but the Philippines has the climate and it has the nutrients in the soil to grow 4 varieties of coffee beans here in the Philippines. But the problem is that they're depleting the soil from nutrients. They don't know how rotating nutrients or rotating crops or adding fertilizer to the soil is going to enhance the quality of the coffee bean. And so I know a lot of you're used to getting the Copico 3-in-1 or 2-in-1 or what have you, the Copico Black, one of my favorites, and enjoying that coffee because it's instant. But I'm a drip coffee kind of guy. And so, you know, my options are limited here when it comes to drip coffee. Now, what are the four coffee beans? You have Arabica, you've got Robusta or Robusta, however you want to say it. And you've got the 2 other coffee. You know what? I have to go to the phone. Because all my information is stored in here. I want to make this point. I apologize for having to go to the phone. So I want you to Google this. I want to say 4 types of coffee beans grown in the Philippines. So I think that most expats, they're into drip coffee. Let's see. Question, Dan, from Mike. Do you think you'd like to do live because you get to talk? I talk more in the Philippines when I get someone who can reply. I'm a lousy moderator, and so I like just being. So yes, because I get to talk and I get to be the star. Yeah, that's why I like it. I talk more in the Philippines when I get someone who can reply. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I could do. As a matter of fact, I probably will gravitate more towards doing talking head videos. I'm going to go back and watch Information Channel, and then I'm going to copy exactly what he says moving forward because I want to grow the channel. But there's other exciting stuff coming. I'm not giving up on this channel. As a matter of fact, I'm going to move to number 1. The reason why is because if you can think it and you have the will to do it, then it can be so. You know, the dream becomes reality. All you have to do is go into Mel Jean Solange channel and watch the way that she says it. By the way, I don't watch Mel Jean because the injected nose thing disturbs me a little bit. You know, it disturbs me a little bit. You know, and then my other problem is it's hard to find people to have conversations with that are smarter than me, Mike. You know, with my genius level and my mind works pretty fast. You know, it works really, really fast. I see the mountains, coffee beans drying out in the mats in the road. Yes, 4 types of coffee. It's very rare that you can grow all 4 varieties of coffee here in the Philippines. Arabica, coffee, Liberica, Robusta, and Mount Apo Civet coffee. And yeah, isn't there also that coffee that they run through a weasel's butt or a monkey butt? I think I call it monkey butt coffee. Yeah. So I think there's that coffee, which I understand is delicious. It's very smooth, has chocolatey notes. Little monkey butt coffee joke there. All right, I believe I saw that somewhere. Where did I see that? In Davao or Bohol? I saw it somewhere. I think in Davao. Somebody was selling it. I said, "How do I know that this is coffee that's actually been run through a weasel's butt, or a monkey butt?" So anyway, all right, I'm having too much fun. All right, so now I found some. Listen, if it's not Starbucks, you know, where you can go, where they go in there and they sell the beans that they'll grind for you on the fly for free. It's very expensive though. This is the problem. The problem is I'm low budget, Dan, and the Starbucks coffee is very expensive. But the best coffee in town near me is actually McDonald's. And so, man, Minnie, she suggested to me, man, we spend an awful lot of money in coffee at McDonald's, even though it's only like $1 per cup or 50 pesos, whatever it is. We go in there a couple times a day. We both enjoy the coffee, and so the coffee budget is, you can do the math and you can figure it out. So it'd be better off if you can find the coffee where they can grind the beans, and then I could brew it up here at the house in the traditional way. But I'm too cheap to buy a Mr. Coffee machine for the apartment. So I looked for a drip system, and they want crazy money for just the drip coffee thing that you set over the top of the cup. See? They want something like $15 or $20 for it. Just the thing that sits on top of the cup. It's True Value Hardware. They're absolutely out of their minds. They're absolutely out of their minds. I won't pay it. Just give me a plastic one that I could put the paper filter in that sits on top of the cup, and I'll do a pour over drip coffee. Beautiful Tox is in the house. Hi, Tox. Thanks for making it to the live. All right. So I don't know if you guys know it or not, but Beautiful Tox has become engaged. That's what was on her Facebook page. I'm like, oh my God, Tox is off the market. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. But some lucky guy is going to be soon going to be married to Beautiful Tox. All right, on with the coffee. I found at Pick-a-Bean. I thought I was going to end up with Arabica beans, but I did not. I ended up with Robusto or Robusto. And it says full body, round taste with a nice bitter and earthy finish. Folks, I'm going to tell you something. This thus far is the best coffee that I have ever discovered in the Philippines. And trust me, I have looked. I have looked high. I have looked low. I have looked all over the place. This is coffee just like back home. It's just like it tastes. It tastes just as good as any Starbucks coffee, and it's homegrown right here in the Philippines. This satchel of coffee right here costs $5 American. I know that's expensive for a lot of people. Worth every penny. Half as much as Starbucks wanted. Fresh beans, fresh roasted beans. If you ever wanted to smell some delicious coffee. Now, the question is, will it remain consistent? Are they consistent in the roasting? That's the question. Tobias saying Dunkin' Donuts has decent coffee too. Yes, and of course, you know how much I love Dunkin' Donuts coffee. You know how much I love it. I would say that McDonald's is the backup to the Dunkin'. Yes, I love coffee talks. I do. Just so happens that the Dunkin' is a little bit further down the road and it opens up later. And if I want an early morning cup of coffee, like at 5 a.m. in the morning, I have to head over to the McDonald's. They also have pickup coffee here, which is in between the Jollibee and the McDonald's, but it just is not as tasty, and the presentation it's not satisfying for me. McDonald's bought the coffee company that supplied the beans to Timmy's. Really? That's a shock. Why do you think they did that, bastards? Dunkin' Donuts has decent coffee too. Yes, absolutely. All right, so now, folks, I'm zooming after one cup of this. That's the other thing. They told me I would be. They go, sir, Mr. Man, Mr. Dan, this is the strongest coffee in the world. They said, be careful. Be careful with this coffee. Smell it. Smell that. Oh my goodness gracious. Folks, I am zooming and I have only had 2 cups of coffee, and that's probably all I need this morning. So, okay, here's the problem. Roasting and growing the coffee. I explained that, folks. I have to correct a misstatement that I made earlier. I have to correct. Oh, Tox is saying very soon. She's she's giggly. All right, Tox. We wish you well on that wedding. Where do we send the presents? Do we send the presents to your PayPal account? Nice, Smelly. Yeah, coffee 3 times a day. That coffee is like rice. Rice is life. And I'm telling you, I'm like Tobias. If this didn't exist, if coffee, cigars, and booze did not exist, what's the whole point of even living? What is the whole point of even living? Consider that. Consider that. Everybody has a vice. Everybody has some kind of vice. I have several. Tell your future husband that he is a very lucky man. Oh, I'm sure he knows that. I'm sure he's well aware. All right, so here's the problem. I have to correct a misstatement that I made. I tried to order in coffee from the States. Bose coffee is expensive. Yes, it is. When they first started, they weren't, Mike, but they are now. And I like Bose. But I'm not hanging around there too often, because if I have to spend top dollar for the coffee, then you gotta go with Starbucks. You know, you gotta go with Starbucks, or you gotta go with Pick a Bean. Pick a Bean is the way to go, and have this brand, this coffee, Bengay. You will not be disappointed. I'm telling you. This is amazing coffee. Talk said, yes, sir, Dan. If you want to send presents, send to the PayPal account, which I did, of course, because I want to wish Talks well. You have to give her a nice launch off on the married life. You know, I think Talks I think Talks lives. I think Beautiful Talks lives a fantasy life. That's what I think. Anyway, yeah, I want to be Talks. I want her life. All right, now, here's what I want to correct. I said they wouldn't allow importing of coffee to the Philippines, and I was wrong. It turns out that the Philippines imports 70% of their coffee, and they export a small fraction of the coffee that they grow. Something is wrong, folks, in those numbers. That's the point I wanted to bring up. If you're importing 70% of your coffee, when you can produce it here in the Philippines, 4 varieties, all 4 varieties known to mankind, known to womankind, known to this globe, right? Then, Mike, if you don't smoke, drink alcohol or coffee, then you know what? You probably have a ton of money in the bank. And so you are a fine catch. Here's the thing. Listen, the Philippines has the ability to grow all the coffee that it consumes, but it's importing 70% of their coffee use from around the world. What does that tell you? It tells you something is wrong. It tells you, though, another thing. It tells you that you can get rich by growing coffee. It tells me that if you know what you're doing and you really learn how to grow the coffee, you are going to become very, very wealthy. So what you need to do, folks, Dan's giving you the heads up right here. Because I think about you and I care about you and I care about your welfare. Plant Coffee trees, learn how to do it. Coffee may be one of those things, though, where you need 2 trees or more in order for them to do what they need to do. I don't know anything about coffee agriculture, but you can Google it, learn online, and then boom, bam, you're going to end up getting wealthy. And if you don't end up getting wealthy, you'll end up with your own coffee that you can grow and roast for your family's own use. And I think this is a beautiful thing. Dan, I want to be the male version of Tox. No, I just want to be Tox, the female version. Who's here? Girly sent us here? Who's here? All right. So, Larry, Sir Larry. Beautiful Tox. Beautiful Larry, come to think of it. All right. So now, 22 people in the house, 21 million in the house. I don't know. I was kind of hoping to have 25 people in the house at least. 25 million before we do this drawing, before I call Man Mini over to draw a number. Doggone it. Where are we, hun? Where's my list? I've misplaced my list again. Coffee is where it's at. Mike doesn't think so, you know. Don't tell me that you don't drink coffee, but you're a Coca-Cola fiend, you know. Look at onion, hundreds of tons of onions imported to the Philippines. Another way to make money, onions. I agree with Mike. I'm going to be considering your suggestion, though, Mike, about that you can create more opportunities for people to win by leaving the number that you pull out of the bag once they win. So I know originally I started this saying that your number would be put back in the sack, back in play, and you would have multiple chances of winning. I did say that. You can win every week. It would be possible. What do we have? 17. I don't know if I want to draw without having 25 people in the chat. 25 million people in the chat. Oh my goodness gracious. Akio Merge, you're such a digital creator. I still haven't printed this list out. I do apologize. You know, I'm no good at contests, you know. Mike says he doesn't drink Coke either. Hey, you don't seem like a very boring guy to me, though, Mike. So you got to be doing something. All right, there's 22. You know what? I'm going to wait until we get at least 25 million people here. Is that okay with you guys if I just sit here and wait? So the coffee thing, the coffee production alarmed me. It's very alarming. So if you can get out there and you could plant a couple of coffee trees and get them to germinate, get them to grow fruit, figure out how to do it. I don't know if it's easy or not. I don't know if it's hard or not. I'm just saying, go do it if you have the land to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to investigate this, Man Mini and I. We're going to consider going ahead and planting a couple of coffee trees. I'm going to learn how to do it to see if it can be done. Dan, only allow 1 entry per person. No ninjas allowed. Well, that's hard to do too. You know, I mean, folks, chime in down below. I'm thinking that I kind of like Tim's idea also, his suggestion. Dean is here. Writer Adventures here. Okay, a few people showing up, but I'm showing only 20 million people being here. I'm not showing 25. So yeah, I'm going to consider those ideas. Dan, Starbucks just opened a store here and gave away coffee beans. I will give you one. Oh, thank you. Tobias, I can hardly wait till we meet. It'll be so much fun. Tox, Beautiful Talks is here. Thanks for being a fan. Thanks for being a fan, folks. Hey, by the way, for everybody that's here, if you haven't gone into their channels and subscribed, I embarrassed myself the other day that one of you guys that comes in here all the time, I was not a member of your channel. I was embarrassed. And I finally went in and let's see, I finally looked at one of Tim's videos and one of Larry's videos this week. Pick me, Sir Dan. Yeah, Man Mini is going to be picking 23 million people in the house. 2 more would be nice. 2 more coming online would be nice. Man Mini, why don't you come over here and gear up? By the way, where are we going to be? We're going to be at Carbone Market today in Cologne. Carbon Market, because I lost all the video from our come on over here, hon. Let me move the camera a little bit so they could see you. Stand by, folks. Stand by. Come on over here, Man Minnie. I think they can see you now. They're gonna see our laundry hanging up too, I think. Yeah, you can sit right on my lap. Here's Man Minnie.
Good morning, everybody.
Dean is here. Join me, please. Dean says. Dean Matthias. Let me write that down. Dean. Matthias. Dean. Yeah, the coffee was fantastic. I'm still wired. In fact, I'll be wired all the way until bedtime tonight. That's how great that coffee was. Man, Minnie, close your eyes. Close your eye. You're not supposed to be looking. Close your eyes. Okay, go ahead and draw a winner. Oh, yeah, oi. Here you go.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, let's see who we got here. We got, oh my gosh, is someone we pulled before?
Hi, Mindy. Good morning.
You can't see it. We're going to darken these up so you could see it. But anyway, you're going to have to take my word for it.
Hello, Sir Larry.
It's number 6.
Hello, everybody.
It's number 62. Who's number 62? Marianne. Number 62. Going once. Marianne. It's Marianne. Let's see. Marianne R. Number 62. Going twice. It's Marianne R.
Folks.
Number 62. Going 3 times. It's Marianne, number 62. Going 4 times. It's, thank you so much, Tox. Marianne, number 62. Going 5 times. No winner there. I don't see a winner there.
It's not there?
No. So go ahead and she's not here, Dean says. So I believe Dean. All right. Pull another one. Close your eyes. Pull one out. Oh, hey, you did it. Oh, good. A yellow tag. All right. So we have this one you should be able to see. But if not, I apologize. We'll fix all that. Number 118. Chris Tyne going once. Number 118. Chris Tyne.
Hello, beautiful talks.
Going.
Thank you.
Twice. Number 118. Chris Tyne. Going 3 times. Number 118. Chris Tyne. Going 4 times. Number 118. Chris Tyne. Out of time, Chris Tyne. Number 4.
Hi, Sir Mike.
So,
Ate Cora.
okay, so let's see. Chris Tyne is out of luck. Chris Tyne out of time. And now we're going to go again. We're going to go again. We're going to go again. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay, it's for 200 pesos, folks. I forgot to say that. 200 pesos. This is lucky number. You won't be able to see it, but you'll have to take my word for it. Number 11. Number 11 is next up. Number 11 is what Man Mini pulled. All right. So, but I lost my list. Number 11 is Anime Reyes.
Anime.
There she is.
Hi, Anime.
Anime knew that her number was 11. She got pulled.
Congrats.
Anime, you're the winner today. 200 pesos. What can I say? I'm going to consider what Tim and Mike had to say, and we'll have an answer for you on the next live stream. In the meanwhile, Larry, if you're not too busy at work or if you're home, if you wouldn't mind leading us out of this live stream, I really appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much, Sir Dananate Mini. God bless you. God bless you and your family, Anime. And congratulations to Santa from Michelle. Larry,
You're welcome.
if you can lead us out of this live with your words of wisdom. Tox, we'll see you next time. Tox, go look for this.
Tox, beautiful.
Yes.
Congrats.
Go look for this this coffee. You'll love it. All right. Remember to be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, always try to have fun. And remember, Lazy Larry's live stream tomorrow, Sunday, in the Philippines. Philippines day and time at 7 a.m. in the Philippines. We will see you then on the live. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Sir Larry.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
We're out of
guys.
here.
Take care,
We're
guys.
headed down
Bye.
to Carbon Market.